And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Leo for the year of 2018. Last year I said to you that you were one of the two most fortunate signs to be in 2017. I cannot say the same this year. But that's not to say that there's going to be big problems, because there's not. A few of you, less than 10% of you, will go through a fairly challenging year this year, but the majority of you have got what I call a steady, consistent year. No major new problems, but all of you are going to get a little bit of a challenge at some stage in the year. So let's look at the individual factors here. Firstly, the new moon in Leo this year is on the full moon in Leo is on the 31st of January, and it is a total eclipse of the moon in Leo. Now this is happening at 11 degrees of Leo, particularly affecting those of you born around the 3rd, 4th, 5th of August. And if you're one of these people, please be careful around the full moon at the end of January, because you're more likely than normal to be clumsy or accident prone. The new moon in Leo is a partial eclipse of the sun, and that's going to be taking place on the 11th of August at 18 degrees of Leo, but I find that not too problematical. Might be a little bit over the top and larger than life, but not a big deal. Mercury will be in Leo for a long time. Mercury normally takes somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks to go through a sign, but because Mercury is going to go retrograde in Leo, it's going to be in Leo from the 29th of June through to the 6th of September. So Mercury is going to be in your sign for 10 weeks, and it's going to go retrograde particularly strongly over the sun sign of those of you born from the 4th through to the 16th of August. So if you're one of these people, whilst Mercury is retrograde during the period of 27 July through to 19 August, please be careful and don't make major changes of course at that time. Venus will be in Leo from the 13th of June to the 10th of July, no big deal. Mars will not be in Leo, although that's not to say Mars will not be affecting you, because it will. Pluto is in Capricorn, a sign that you have little in common with, so I'm not that worried about what Pluto's doing to you this year, negligible. Similarly, Saturn is in Capricorn also all year, and he's not really going to be affecting you. This is really good news. And Neptune is in Pisces, a sign also that you have very little in common with. So Neptune isn't going to be affecting you either. Of the big 5 planets, Saturn, Neptune and Pluto, the real heavy hitters, they're not touching you. This has got to be good news. Jupiter and Uranus are. Jupiter's in Scorpio. And some of you are going to be really affected by Jupiter this year. So those of you born from about the 9th of August, the 9th of August through to about the 16th of August, you're going to find that this year is a little bit larger than life, over the top, mountains made out of molehills. Things could easily get blown out of proportion, particularly around the time of June, July, August. And keep things in perspective. Go for quality, not quantity. It's particularly clear that Mars in Scorpio also is going to be affecting you. Those of you born on or after the 7th of August are likely to find that the first three and a half weeks of January are a little bit contentious. You might easily say or do something you'd later regret, born of frustration or impatience. Uranus is going to move into Taurus later this year. And once he does so, which will be around May, June time, he's then going to particularly impact on a few of you. Those of you born around the 23rd, 24th, 25th of July, change is coming, big time. And you can either dig your heels in and try and resist change, and you may be successful, in which case you will then set in place patterns, ruts, routines, which you will then have real problems breaking out of as you get older. Or you can grab the wave of change and surf with it and take on board the ideas of revolution, change, stimulus. And yes, it'll be a little bit crazy and a bit unpredictable, but better that than being boring. Add to this the influence of Mars. Mars is going to move into your opposite sign of Aquarius on the 16th of May. He's then going to go retrograde and move backwards into Capricorn before standing still and then moving forwards again into Aquarius. So Mars is going to be in Aquarius basically for 6 months, opposite a lot of your suns. Now this is not all of you by a long, long way. When Mars stands still, Mars will stand still at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So it is only really those Leos born in July and the first 1 or 2 days of August who are going to be affected by this. But if you are one of these Leos born on or before the 2nd of August, please be aware that particularly over the period of the 16th of May through to the time when Mars goes retrograde around the 27th of June, that you're much more liable than normal to say or do something you'd later regret, born of impatience or impulsiveness, and that certain individuals may really push buttons for you and you could easily get yourself into trouble, get into arguments or disagreements, so don't. This is not the easiest of years, but it's bitty. It's all over the place. It's a bit like 2 bits of sandpaper rolling all over the place. The hardest month of the year, probably January, although June itself, late May, early June, is no joke either. I think it's safe to say, as far as 2018 goes, Leo, have a Teflon coated and somewhat individualistic year. Big thank you to all the support of those who have helped me over the years. Couldn't do it without you. Look forward to seeing you again in the monthlies. Cheers, folks. Bye.